Welcome to the Sprint. You already know, right here we're taking a break from that heavy news cycle of the day, kind of taking a separation from the drama and the crime and destruction that always happens. And we're kind of giving you guys stories that, A, will make you smile, B, you'll see the bad that have been turned into good, and C, sometimes scratch your head. Also, thanking the good Lord above, because get this, today we're talking about this emergency landing caught on camera, how one instructor had to think quickly to avoid the worst case scenario in a plane. Y'all, anytime I see these kind of stories, they always get my heart pumping because I'm like, that could have ended poorly, but thank God it did it. We're going to get into that and actually hear from the flight instructor herself. First and foremost, like I mentioned, we're turning something bad into something good, and sometimes that means pain into purpose. That's exactly what one local veteran is working to help service members struggling with PTSD and other behavioral health issues. Check it out. This is Ray Weir. He was in the Army for 7 years, completing one tour in Iraq. Last month, he lost his best friend since boot camp to suicide, and now hoping to change the narrative around what he calls mental injuries, creating a nonprofit called Avalanche Veteran Support.
I share my experiences, my struggles with depression and anxiety that I've been able to fight and battle and, in my opinion, beat. So we guide, and whatever they need, we're here to help.
So the goal is not only to provide support, but also help for veterans navigate what can be seen as a tricky mental health system. So again, God bless them, man. I couldn't imagine losing a close friend, a loved one, or anybody to suicide, but to be able to take that pain and turn it around to try to help others, I think is a blessing for everyone. Avalanche Veteran Support. If you guys are interested in that, go to our website at WSLS.com. We got details on that, and obviously you can go to their website directly and figure out how you can donate to his cause. All right, more people are flying this summer, and we know we got a big holiday coming up for everybody to be aware of. Transportation Security Administration, or the TSA, says its workers screened nearly 3 million people at airports across the country on Sunday. Agency says that it was the busiest day ever for TSA, and it will only get busier. They expected to screen more than 32 million passengers in the days leading up to the July 4th holiday, several days afterwards. That would be a nearly 5.5% increase over the last year holidays period. And if you're planning to travel, the agency says it expects this Friday will be the busiest. I'm actually going back home, but I'm driving. I'm taking my car, taking Charlie and Bo. We're hitting the road, man. We're going to hit the road on Wednesday. So I'm going to try to beat all of that traffic and all that good stuff. But I know a lot of people are looking forward to, making your flights and making your trips to your family and friends. Lord bless, no cancellations to happen or no issues to take place that may delay flights or cancel them altogether. We all know how frustrating that can be. As we gear up for the Independence holiday, the Consumer Product Safety Commission highlighting the dangers of fireworks. You need to keep this in mind, too. Demonstrated the dangerous fireworks on the Today Show. 2/3 of fireworks injuries happened in the weeks before and after the 4th of July. They say close to 10,000 people were taken to emergency room last year. Safety experts say that there are some simple steps that you can take to keep your family safe.
So you always want to have a bucket of water or a garden hose nearby. You want to make sure that you keep the kids away from the fireworks.
Yeah, so they also recommend you move away to safe distance immediately after lighting fireworks. And especially if you got one of those big bomb-like fireworks, you can never underestimate a firework. I know a lot of people are just like, I could get away with this or whatever. And next thing you know, your hand is blown up. I've seen so many awful videos of that type of stuff. Like stuff like this, yeah, you want to go get way far away from those bad boys because they will definitely not only create a light show, but could be a very big weapon. So again, you just got to be careful, especially with everybody popping fireworks this holiday season. It's a good sight to see in the sky when it's done successfully, but always, again, keep in mind the safety aspect of yourself, and those around you. All right, guys, it's time to get to our weather. We already know it's been a warm couple of days. It's going to continue to stay warm. Meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us with our Tuesday forecast.
Happy Tuesday, guys. Today starting out nice and comfortably. By the afternoon, the heat is on once again, and we're taking it up just a notch or two compared to yesterday. Thankfully, the humidity's not that big a deal today, but the heat, the humidity, they creep up tomorrow, along with the chance for a few hit or miss storms. The details right now on WSLS.com.
Thank you, Chris. Coming up after the break, we're talking about a dog versus a coyote, and I'm talking about a tiny dog as well. We're going to get to that video caught on home surveillance footage, but also caught on camera. We're talking about this bad boy right here, an emergency landing. Nobody ever wants to be caught in this situation, but thank God this flight instructor knew exactly what to do, when to do it. We get into this and so much more coming your way after the break. In a couple minutes, just stay tuned to WSLS.com on the Sprint. Welcome back to the Sprint, guys. Let's get right into this cool story. An Airstream trailer once used by the Rolling Stones has since been repurposed and converted, if I can speak English, into an ice cream shop. Check it out. Unassuming Airstream trailer located near the Lighthouse Pier in Ohio has more history than you might imagine. Rolling Stones Creamery started as an idea after the owner made a trip to Florida where the iconic trailer sells treats. Now, after contacting a local company with a fleet of similar vehicles, Amanda Harkelode became the owner of the trailer. In honor of its history, Harkelode opted to pay tribute to the band by naming the creamery after the popular music group. And as it turns out, spent a few years with the Rolling Stones on tour. So that's pretty cool, being able to repurpose something like that and also have history. And you get the little cookies and cream. That's my stuff, man. You guys know me. I will always get down with cookies and cream no matter where it's coming from. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm happy that they were able to do that and still keep around some history like that. God, let's get into this real quick. Okay, wildlife experts are talking about this crazy situation that happened between a coyote and a dog. They say that new developments is causing habitats to shrink in urban bobcat sightings to become more common in parts of North Texas. Did I say a coyote? I've been saying coyote this entire time. I meant a bobcat. Bobcat versus tiny dog, particularly in Collins County. So check this out. Yeah, that's a bobcat, and that's a tiny Yorkie that's just like, I'm about to whoop you, man. You about to get it. You know, I don't know. Either way, that is something that you don't see every day for sure, and I'm pretty sure it's understandable why traumatizing that would be for the homeowner. This was a shocking encounter recorded that shows a bobcat sneaking up on a 10-year-old Yorkie. This Yorkie's name is Boots. He was in the backyard. Bobcat goes right up and tries to swipe at the dog twice, but again, Boots wasn't playing.
I saw this big cat and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a bobcat, you know, like, and I couldn't believe my eyes, and I just went into mommy protective mode. Yes, yeah, it was spooky. I've never seen, I mean, it was like being in National Geographic. I mean, it was like, you know, a tiger.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where you're just like, what do you actually do? And especially Boots being so tiny, thank God he came back. But I'm just thinking to myself, if Bo was out there and he got into it with this big cat, like, that's a huge cat. Like, that thing could do anything to you. And I'm like, how would you even react or respond as a homeowner? Anyways, experts say that owners should always stay with their small pets that are outside, especially when predatory animals like bobcats and coyotes have been spotted in the area. You know, I'm guilty of this, because especially when you live out in the country, you know, you're used to letting your door open, your dogs go out, go to the bathroom, and they come back to the door and you let them in without any issues. But yeah, this could easily have ended in poor little Boots saying bye-bye, but thank God he didn't. He's still alive. But let this be a warning to all of our homeowners or pet owners out there, especially of tiny animals. Got to watch them things. Be right up on them. Yeah, because that could result in something very, very not so good. All right, guys. We got something that's actually very, very good that almost resulted into something not so good. Flight instructor in South Carolina being celebrated for an emergency landing last week. Nicole Smith landed her small plane on Interstate 77 after a mechanical issue showed up. Check out the story.
And in the moment, I was just doing what I was taught to do.
All smiles from flight instructor Nicole Smith on Friday, following a flight that could have ended badly Thursday night. Smith and her aviation student took off around 6 Thursday night when they experienced a mechanical failure about 40 minutes into the flight. She says she and her student heard some clicking noises in flight while going over flight procedures. She believes a cylinder piece fell out of the plane, playing a part in the mechanical failure. This led her to look for a quick landing.
My thought at the time was just to make sure that I didn't go into oncoming traffic. I did see the cars kind of going off on the shoulder, and I was trying to mitigate that as best as possible while still landing safely.
In her 1,500 hours of flight experience, this was the first time Smith had to emergency land. Smith says although her student was a little nervous, their combined experience in the air kept her calm and collected.
We just make sure that we use the checklist and we stay calm. My student was a little nervous, but you know, he's got about 200 hours, if that, and I have 1,500. So just having more time in the plane kind of equips you.
It's always good news to see very trained people knowing what to do, how not to panic in that kind of moment, because I guarantee you, I probably would have had 1,000 different heart attacks. One of our photographers, who he's no longer working here, but he is now a pilot. And, you know, he was talking about the different things and the trainings that he goes through with trying to figure out, you know, if this case scenario happened, how to react. And, you know, to see how calm, cool, and collected that this flight instructor seemed that she was, and then the person that she was with, she said 200 hours versus all of her hours. You know, she's like, they just knew exactly what to do and how panicking probably wouldn't have helped the situation. But again, thank God that they made it down safely. Look, the plane looks like fully intact. Everything looks like people just walked away, you know, chill. So that could have resulted in something very, very devastating, but it didn't. And I love showing stories like that because, again, miracles are out there. People who are well trained and gifted in that kind of world, you know, it's cool to see their successes. And I'm sorry, this is a successful moment that they were able to walk away from a situation where they literally had to think in seconds, you know. So yeah, shout out to them. I love that story right there. I always love bringing you guys different stories like that. It'll keep the conversation going, whether it's at the lunch table, dinner table, out on a walk with your dog, wherever you got WSLS.com potted up. I'm so happy that we're able to share these kind of stories to make everybody's day a little bit better. And again, a break from that heavy kind of stress of the day, from looking at all the mess that always happens on a daily basis in our news cycle. Not saying that it's not important, but again, sometimes we can all use a mental break, and that's what the Sprint is here for. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll be back here again on your hump day in the afternoon, 12:30, and in the evening at 6:30 p.m. I'll see you guys there at WSLS.com.